Now, the reason I'm walking you through this is you cannot understand the president's speech yesterday and how disastrous it is unless you understand the willful ignorance and the willful denial of reality that runs not just through this administration, but through most of our elites. We are faced with mortal enemies. And by that I mean if they can kill us, they will. And deterrence won't work because when you're faced with somebody who believes that if they die and you die, they will go to heaven, they will use nuclear weapons if they get them. I mean, why would you think that people who walk into a store wearing a body vest and blow themselves up would mind walking in with a nuclear weapon? This is a much, much more dangerous world than we're willing to talk about. And now you come to the president, whose total misunderstanding of reality is genuinely frightening. The president gave a speech in Cairo, and he talked about how, as a young person in Indonesia, he'd learned about tolerance. A few years before the president went to Indonesia as a child, 500,000 people were killed in Indonesia. I mean, it wasn't exactly your everyday example of tolerance. He invited the Muslim Brotherhood to his speech in Cairo. The Muslim Brotherhood is the mortal enemy of our civilization. They say so. Now, recently they've started doing interviews where they say, well, we're not really your enemy. But we've been there before. There's a scene, we did a movie called Ronald Reagan, Rendezvous with Destiny. And there's a scene in there, very early in his presidency, where Sam Donaldson says to him, do you still believe the things you used to say about the Soviet Union? What do you think the real motivation of the Soviet Union is? And he says, well, Sam, I don't have to guess what their motivation is. They tell us every day. They want world domination. And they believe that saying anything to win is okay. So they lie, they cheat, they steal, because it is who they are. Now, I recently read that Reagan prepared for the press conference. He did not use that answer because he knew his staff would go crazy. And Reagan gave a speech in 1983, which he had to sneak by the National Security Council, in which he described the Soviet Union as an evil empire. Well, let me say, it would be really healthy to have somebody say of Hamas, it is an evil movement.